Tonight we are talking about the Dalmore. There's a lot of politics with regards. It's almost similar like Macallan. There's the people that love them, the people that hate them. There's people that can't go to any duty-free store without picking up a bottle of Dalmore, as you've seen in the thumbnail. That is the picture that I have from way years ago when I see Dalmore, when they advertise Dalmore. It is a old setting books, all the wooden shelves, the leather chairs, a guy sitting smoking a pipe or something, or a big fat cigar, and it just, well, the brand was a luxury brand. A brand that the connoisseur would pick out and having a fun time with it. So it was a little bit of a snobbish whiskey, and it's something that I would have loved to try earlier on in life, but of course could never afford them, and always very difficult to find. Now, fast forward a couple of years, I went to Belgium to visit a friend. He had a bottle unopened for, I think, 15 years already, and he said, oh, if you want it, you can buy it off me. I think I gave him 50 euros for the bottle. I took it home to South Africa. I gave it to my brother. We opened up that bottle, Grand Reserve, and I was blown away. At that stage, I was going for all the sherried whiskies. I love the sherried whiskies, and for me, that Grand Reserve was the ultimate in sherried whiskey. And ever since I've tried to chase that same notes that came out. So yeah, today, if you go watch a lot of people, the first thing that they complain about is the chill filtration. Of course, low ABV in most of their whiskies. And I understand it. That is they want to sell as much as possible, and 40% seems to be quite ordinary for them, and getting maybe a 2 or 3% on top of that makes sense to them, but definitely not to a lot of people that like the whiskey. We want a little bit more, and of course the coloring that they added. Now, if you look at a Dalmore whiskey in general, it is sherried cask, and in general it's very dark, and a lot of them are no age statement whiskies. So you pick it up, it looks like a 20-year-old whiskey that is spending 20 years in the sherry cask. But when you realize it's a no age statement, and it looks like Coca-Cola already. So for me, that's a little bit of a stupid thing that they are doing. I understand if you put the bottles side by side, you want to them all look the same color, but if it's in a box, in a display, I'm not sure if it brings any value. Well, I'm sure the people that goes to the duty-free shops all over the world, they are there. I'm sure that that prestige picture is still in the mind of a lot of people, and it does look like a nice presentable bottle. They have the stag on it, that piece of plastic stag on it. The box looks professional, it looks well done, so it looks the part. Now, but we also need to decide if it looks the part, does it smell the part, and of course, does it taste the part? And I think that is where a lot of people are complaining a little bit. They need a little bit more. So with that in mind, and that little rant and rave and big discussion before the video, just remember to like, share and subscribe. I have to put it in there. A lot of people forget. It helps people, children in South Africa. We're looking after 75 kids. So by you just clicking on this video, I might get 1 cent, euro cent, and it all adds up to a little bit of money, and we send it to South Africa. Christine, thank you very much for that super chat that you sent me. I think 20 Canadian dollars. I'm super excited about that, because I know When I take that money to South Africa, I multiply a 10 euro, I multiply it by 20, and 200 rand, I can feed quite a couple of people with that small amount of money. So yeah, do your thing, like, share and subscribe, and help some kids out in South Africa. Now, I did pour this one a while ago, and we're talking about a 2009 vintage edition sherry cask finish. So it's bourbon cask, and they finish it off with a Jerez sherry, oloroso sherry cask. Now, yeah, how much? 42.5% ABV. Just about above the bare minimal requirements. Color added, most probably, I don't know. But try to find out information on their website. Just forget about it. Now, in Germany, if you have a bottle of whiskey, if you turn it to the back, they will, by law, will have to tell you if there is color added. Now, the rest of the world seems like they don't care about that. Now, to be honest, I don't care myself so much, but I think if you are you are thinking that you are a high quality, a little bit of a snobbish, a little bit of a expensive, a little bit of a whiskey that is for the connoisseur, you might reconsider, take that coloring out. The people don't care if it looks dark or not. Most of the time when they buy it at the duty-free stores, there might be a bottle out, but it's in a box. We don't care. It's for us. It's about the nosing and the tasting. What do we taste? Now, the chill filtration, I know it's low ABV, so we have to filter it. I don't care about that. 46% above, I'm not going to chill filter it, but I'm also not 100% sure about that anymore. I've heard Ralphie speak about filtration. There's different types of filtration, and sometimes they do some filtration, and of course that can affect the quality of the whiskey or the mouthfeel of the whiskey. So yeah, I keep on going on ranting because for me, I would love this to have the picture, or completing the picture in my mind of that old gentleman like me sitting on the leather couch and just sipping away with something sipping away with something that's very special. Now, color-wise, I can't talk about color, but the presumption is there. This is a 10-year-old whiskey. And I can see that there might be color added, 10 years, but sherry cask, depending on the wetness of that cask, it is possible. So if I did add color to it, might be not a huge amount. Now, on the nose, and I can also tell you that I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm looking for that Dalmore Grand Reserve type of notes, that sugar monster, that sweet monster. Now, before we go on to the nosing and the tasting, I also need to talk about the pricing. Now, I did look online here in Belgium. You will pay now on average about 177 euros for this bottle, if you can find it. And it seems that, well, I found it quite a lot of them. So it's possible to find them if you do some research. When it came out, now I buy a lot of my whiskies in Holland online store, and they don't delete anything. So if I look at this bottle, when it came out, and it was asking price of 67 euros for this bottle. Now, if I can rewind time, I will be rushing off to that shop and buy some more, or am I willing to pay €177 for 10-year-old now, that's colored and chill filtered. Well, we'll see about that. So, rand, I promise you, is over on the nose. On the nose, it makes me happy. That flashback to the Grand Reserve is in this glass. It's sweet, but not an overly sweet whiskey. It's not like that Pedro Ebenezer sweetness and sometimes a little sickening sweet whiskey. That's definitely not that. Richard Paterson, the guy that created this, I think he can be very proud of this product. Now, there's a pleasantly light sweetness in this one. There's a little bit of it's a classic sherry cask whiskey. And it shines through that sherry. So for me, I think it seems like it's quite a wet cask. So there was a lot left of that sherry in the cask when they use it. Just my opinion. Because it really shines through, so you get that resins is there. I get a leathery note, old leather, like not stinky boots, but the old leather note that comes through. And I get a hint of prunes. And the alcohol, even with the agitation, even if doesn't matter how much you agitate it, you'd think that volatile alcohol notes will come up. But when I realize it is very low ABV, so you shake it as much as you want, it's not going to have that stingy effect. So no alcohol, or for me almost no alcohol, a hint of an oak coming through. I also get, not every time, but I get a little bit of a cut grass or cut flower, freshly cut flowers, a little hint of a green note coming out. Quite pleasant. It brings out the little youthfulness in it that makes it a little bit more lively, I think. And then every time that I go back, it feels like it's a little bit sweeter on the nose. Just a tad, a little vanilla's appearing as well. So the nose for me is fantastic. This nose brings me back to that first Dalmore that I had. And it makes me happy. Now on the taste, cheers. It is a pleasant whiskey. It's a little bit sweeter than the nose would have suggested. There's a hint of an oiliness. There's a hint of that sweetness that just been elevated a little bit. And there's zero bitter notes. Nothing. Alcohol-wise, now 42.5% ABV. I can take a big sip, and I'm going to take a big sip. Cheers. Even with a big sip, there's a hint of a hotness, just a tad of it. It just creates a little bit of warmth. Your whole mouth are covered with raisins and a little bit of that prune note. A sweetness coming through, and it is just lovely. It goes down smooth as can be, and of course it's begging you, take another sip. So not going to add water to this one. It is a nice one. From nose to taste, it is really pleasant, and I can see myself sitting in that leather chair, no cigar, but just having a good time, taking my dog Rufy on my lap, and we can have a nice discussion about the day that we just had. So definitely, it's something that is enjoyable. It's something that I would definitely buy at the original price. Now, I think because of the scarcity, maybe the average price of €177 is way too much for this one. There is loads and loads of whiskey that you can buy that's going to give you sometimes a little better experience. But if you're a sherry lover and you like sherry whiskey, and you can get one of these expressions, I think you will be quite happy. Now, Dalmore makes a lot of whiskey. There is constantly new expressions, new woods, different styles of whiskey. Very difficult to keep up. And of course, if you can buy a sample, try it before you buy it, before you commit to some of the whiskies. They have 12-year-old whiskies for, I think, 69, 68 euros, which I think is reasonable. But of course, they drop it to 40% and they put color to it. So if you can get past that coloring and chill filtration and all of those things, and you are just interested in something lovely, give Dalmore a opportunity, and you can thank me later. So that's me. Sorry about the long video. Sorry about the rant. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know which of the Dalmores is something that you completely fell in love with, and something that you would, well, try to keep on the bar as long as possible. And of course, if it's finished, are you going to go back and try to find a new one? Or which one of the new expressions I see at the duty-free stores? There's a lot of new names coming out from Dalmore. Have you tried them? Should I try it? So thank you very much. Love you. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I see you next time. Cheers.